All right. Testing mic check Sunday.
There we
Live.
go.
Giggity, go.
The ongoing series about the life of the people touched by the love of the Pacific. Here are their stories. This is Highway 54.
Yo, happy Sunday, everybody.
Team
All
here,
right.
guy. What's up?
It's Highway
Hello,
54
hello.
live stream Sunday. And we have more females this time today.
Yeah, right.
If it wasn't Eric, it would just be me.
Right.
Let me tell you about my breast friends.
Well, guys, how's everybody doing? Everybody's healthy, safe, sound.
It is nice and rainy here in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. It's been
Dude,
raining.
it's been raining up here too.
Really?
Oh, what? Yeah.
Yeah, in Sacramento. I was like, it's like the wind is just kicked up and everything is just a mess out there. We're like, I don't know how many trees we've lost this week, but hey,
Oh,
you
man.
know.
Yeah. How about Texas? Texas
It's foggy and rainy and amazing.
oh, man. Amazing. Florida?
We've been getting rain also. And it's, our temperatures have gone back to like what, 70s, 80s? I don't know.
Yeah.
Our cold
Really?
front is done.
Yeah. I mean, San Diego is up and down. San Diego's always been like that. It's never like super, super cold. When the sun's out, it's nice and warm. And
Right.
when it's windy, it's cold. It's always been like that. And so mosquitoes are out. The hell? It's like it's not even February yet. Mosquitoes are out.
Oh my God, yeah. Freaking mosquitoes.
I know. Texas got mosquitoes. They got some big mosquitoes there.
Well, we live right across the street from a pond. So
Oh
I
wow.
was like, ooh, I got a great idea. Because apparently if you plant catnip, it keeps mosquitoes away. And then my husband was like, nah, that's not a thing because then we're gonna lure cats. I was like, "But mosquitoes. You want mosquitoes.
Yeah. Look, in Guam, we used to put like the coconut husk and use that. I don't know if it does, but
Really?
yeah, you ever heard of that, Abby? Yeah, coconut husk. And they
Man, I
burn it.
had the green coil. That's what we had. We had the
Oh, we
green
had that, but
green coil that you light up and it smells like.
but the coconut husk you have to put like the smoke like right on you, and then you would smell
Ugh.
like in wood and coconut and whatever. I don't know what it is, but anyway, we use coconut. My blood is mosquito friendly, I guess. They love my mosquito.
They like yours, huh?
Yeah, they love my blood. Anyways, this week was very eventful. I feel
It has this
a
weird
little bit of a sigh of relief, right?
all around the power
Tell
supply
me,
for each one,
am I wrong or not?
and so like one end and oh
I
sorry.
can hear you.
Erica,
I'm sorry, dude. My son's
Can you
like,
hear?
and I did this thing, and but I'm like, could you come back?
I think he wants to be on the show. He wants to be
Sorry
on the
about that. He really does actually. He's been streaming
And he
his
looked
own
just like you.
games.
That
Yeah, I
boy
know.
looked just like you. Poor kid.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that. Sorry.
Key boy. So yeah, January 20th was the inauguration, and of course, it's for different people. It was a sigh of relief. It's for different people. It was a light looking forward. So I know we've been talking about a lot of politics, and we usually don't, but it's an unusual state. What did you guys think about that? So, of course, the 46th president now is Joseph R. Biden Jr. From
Oh, he's okay. He's so pretty. I'm sorry. He's so pretty. Hey, yeah, I had to. So I know he's old, but it's endearing and it's adorable. And oh my gosh, he's so cute. Go ahead.
And then, of course, Kamala Harris from Oakland is the first Howard graduate to be vice president, first woman, first South Asian, first Black woman. Mother is from India and father is from Jamaica. And so historical, at least for her, you know. Of course,
Right.
Biden too is very historical, but he's been around the block a lot for a long time, and he knows a lot of people. So we hope that it happens to be a step forward into the right direction, and the adults are now in the Capitol. At least Dr. Fauci is like free now. You saw Dr. Fauci's
he
first
looks so relieved.
So
I'm so
happy.
relieved.
happy, like, oh my God, I can really do my job now and all this. The press
Yes.
secretary is doing that Queen Gambit kind of thing. Like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Oh man, she does not play.
Yeah,
she
she's
does not play.
on point. She has the agenda. This is what's gonna happen tonight. And like, what the hell? Like, and we have the expert, and no one interrupted Dr. Fauci. And Dr. Fauci, they're trying to get Dr. Fauci to have like say something bad about the administration. He had the most PC. He just goes, it feels liberating to,
He's classy. I like it.
yeah. And
He's
then
like, you all know how it went down. Do we really need to talk about this?
we're talking about right now.
Right? He's like, do I really need to tell you?
Though, come on. I mean, there's something about him that's a little attractive too. It's like this.
Somebody got daddy issues, yo. I'm just saying.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff happening. They're all getting settled in. They've signed some executive orders, some good, some bad, some questionable. But like any command, let them work their few weeks and months, and we'll judge them by what's going to happen in the next year or so. But even if you instill stuff today, it really won't feel the effect until, for most of it, the policies and programs until like a year later, or 2 years later, or 3 years later.
So have patience, people. Have patience.
So, but one thing that has not changed, and so it's really hit hard for me and Eric, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people that we know. COVID's still here. Yes, we're getting vaccinated. The numbers are dwindling, right? But unfortunately, some cities there's a big uptick. So, for example, California has one of the strictest rules, but you can only mandate it. You can't enforce. It's hard to enforce, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening. So I'm getting a lot of flack for, you're in California. Yeah, but bitches don't want to wear a mask, and Starbucks. Then what can I do? I got other things to worry about. So, for example, in LA, January 15th, they had about 2,700 bodies being stored because cremation can't catch up to burning to taking care of these bodies. So they have to sort to trucks to store all of these bodies and waiting in turn to be cremated. So LA is very dense. If you know about LA, it's like Tokyo. A lot of people in one little city, and so a lot of people are not listening to what's happening.
A lot of people up there.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
listening.
a lot of people in LA. And it's just around. You're talking about all the way to Orange County, Long Beach, West Covina, Fullerton. It all encompasses LA. Long Beach is sort of Torrance and all part of LA. So that's why San Diego, we're a little bit better, but as far as I know from my family and friends who are part of the frontliners, without doing the HIPAA stuff, it's pretty bad, because you got to account for people who are sick for other things like flu, diabetes.
Well, the comorbidities that are throwing off what like the numbers are going to look like.
Yeah. So it is what it is, and so it hits home for me, and I don't want to tell too much, but we have a scare in our family, and it wasn't surprising because the places they work at, but it's really bad. Also, I can tell you right now, it's for real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, out of this one building, everybody, and it's hundreds of people that work in this building, only 8 are not positive. That's all I can tell you. So, challenging because we want to be strong for our family and friends, but they can't say stuff online and Facebook and all that. They can tell their families, but it's pretty bad. And so, I think Dr. Fauci was on one of these videos saying, like, to get to where we want, the vaccine is not gonna to save you. To get vaccinated is what's going to save you. Do you see the wordplay there? The vaccine itself is not going to save you. To get vaccinated is what's going to save you.
Right.
85% by the summertime have to be vaccinated, and 15%, the herd immunity, that to actually take place. Do you think America has to have 85% of the 320 million people to get vaccinated? Is that going to happen by summertime?
No.
No. No.
Really happening right
You
now.
got jokes?
Nope.
Yeah.
I didn't know you wrote your own jokes, Floyd.
I know, right? So,
Bermuda Betty down the road won't even vaccinate her kids. So I mean, come on. Like they don't even have chicken pox. Come on, they're not gonna. No.
And I'll speak for everybody here. I think for most, because we either military or in the military or dependent, we've got, I at least for me, every vaccine, and Erica too, every vaccination that the government told us to do, anthrax, polio, chickenpox, I've got it all.
Done.
And
Every single one. Yeah, and I'm fine. And I have no hesitation when it's because I'm on the waiting list for veterans to get the vaccination. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Give me the paperwork. If I get fucked up in a couple of years, disability, whatever it is. Yeah, I'm suing Pfizer or Moderna, whatever they call it. So, but I'd rather have that as a. Rather have that as a protection, than not have it. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, what you guys feel on your side in each state? How's a vaccination going?
Well, in Florida, they just opened up the public vaccination, but you have to call. You have to call. And my daughter, I have 2 daughters who are considered healthcare workers, even though they're not really healthcare workers. My one daughter works at the hospital. She does admitting. And
But
then
she'll be a nurse soon.
Yeah. So, but she's around patients.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to get it. So she had hers. She did her second shot, I think, a week ago. And then my other daughter, she works in the school system. She is a behavioral therapist assistant. I think that's her title. So because she deals with kids and she's in the school, her boss told her she has to get her shots. So she took her shot today. But she was telling me, she's like, Mom, the line to get the shots ridiculous,
Yeah.
And she said that she had to call throughout the day to get her appointment for today.
Right.
She called on Wednesday. They gave her appointment on Sunday. And she was saying, I don't think there's any more available because they're really pushing for 65 and older. And my parents, I will tell you this, my parents are struggling to get an appointment. And those are for people who actually want,
Right.
want it. So if they're struggling and they want it, what more, what more is going to happen for people who don't want it?
Oh, there's a lot. I'm not gonna get it. There's anti-vaxxers or people who just don't believe that their DNA is gonna turn them into Aquaman or something like that. Like, I wish. Shit, sounds good, man.
Crazy shit out there.
Be swimming in
It's
a dolphin.
Give me some extra superhero abilities.
I'll start the umbrella company. Shit.
Right. Oh, shit.
Let's do it.
Academy. Umbrella Academy. Sorry.
I heard a rumor.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What did you hear?
I had a rumor that Biden died.
With the what is it, AI?
Exactly.
And that was Rolex is his battery.
Yeah.
Oh my
Is that the Manchurian candidate? The Manchurian candidate?
Yeah.
It's all CGI, I'm telling you.
What's up with Texas? West Texas? How's West Texas, Susanna?
Gosh, I mean, disappointing is a good word for that. Like I said, for my neck of the woods, being in public health, I currently do not meet the criteria to receive any vaccine, which is fine. I mean, like I want it to go to those that are more at risk than I am. But I'm definitely going to be waiting in any kind of line as soon as I can wait in any kind of line to get it. That's for sure. But yeah, I thought at this point I would stop being amazed at the idiocy, but it hasn't happened yet. Damn those federal employees, but it's boondocks, Texas. So
it is. I used to live in San Angelo, so I love the town. Actually, I just love it because I grew up and raised in a big city. So going to a small town is just interesting. I didn't get to venture to visit Susanna and my friends up there in other West Texas, but it's hard too. Like some people live in the boondocks of like they have land. They have a lot of fucking land. Like one house is like the house is way out there, and 4 football fields down below. Like holy shit! So the mental. One of the things I heard on news is that the mental challenging aspects of Texas, because there's only so many medical professionals in each town or suburbs that can take care of people, right? And so you're throwing in COVID, you're talking isolation, you're talking about other stuff that they're getting sick for. So Texas is having and a lot of nurses and professionals are leaving Texas because of its overwork, not enough staff, not enough, whatever. And so they're
just making the situation worse.
But one of the big deals is mental health. That's always, even before COVID, it's always been a struggle. But now you're times it by 2, right? That everybody else is having the same stress about isolation and not talking to family and friends. So.
And you're seeing a lot of compassion fatigue, right? You're seeing these frontline workers watching people die from this pandemic on a daily basis. And what was really traumatic and, really traumatic in the beginning, they're seeing it day after day. So they're experiencing this thing called compassion fatigue, right? They're just going through these motions, trying to just get their basic jobs done when there's not enough help and reinforcements. I mean, the mental health effects of this are, shouldn't be underestimated. There's a ripple effect through everything, right? Especially traumatic experiences. And a pandemic is a traumatic experience, right? We're all experiencing it in different ways. And there are people that are really suffering, not just from this this virus, but also associated. We're seeing family members watch their husbands, their children, the closest loved ones die. So there are going to be serious mental health issues related to this. And I think that's going unseen because we're so distracted on the pandemic. We're not seeing the comorbidity events associated with it.
Yeah. And that's why if you guys see me, I try to check. Me and Eric, we talk about almost every other day. So, I try to check up on everybody. Hey, how are you, Susanna? Erica has some stuff going on. Leslie has some stuff going on. Abby. So, and Kellen, just tough guy. So Carlo, but just, but I tell everybody too is check on your friends. People you haven't talked to in a while. Check up on them. I know I'm not Facebook stalking.
Yeah.
But you want to be like, if you have somebody in your mind, just say, hey, how are you? How's the family? Everything okay? I'm here to talk. That will help a lot too, because a lot of things are going through their mind. Like we're all stuck at home. So when you check everybody, it's someone cares, right?
Yeah.
It's just my family, my dog, and my cat, and all that. It's going to work. So
that's a good point, Floyd, because a lot of us, are isolated to a certain extent, right? A lot of our community events are shut down for this pandemic. We're being responsible by trying to stay home, and that's very isolating. So we're not having those normal interactions that a lot of us thrive on. And one thing that I want to say, in addition to, I absolutely agree with you, is check on people, just shoot them a quick message, but also, be prepared if they don't have a good response. And it sounds super cliche, but I am a mental health advocate. Always know a crisis number that you can pass on.
Yeah.
Right? If you can't physically be there, have resources available that you could at least refer them to, because things are happening and people are suffering from it.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good point. That's a really good point. I think everyone should have that number.
Yeah.
Some kind of thing like that.
Families, friends, those who who have their husband or wife works for the frontliners, or they're deployed or whatever. Check on them. The older generation, of course, your aunt and uncles and grandmas and grandfathers. Check on them.
Yeah.
Zoom them if you have to. Say, hey, I got 5 minutes. I just want to check with you. School.
Yeah.
So, because the worst thing you want to happen is like you find something bad happen on Facebook. Like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. Like I was almost about to like contact you, and so that I just thought about that. We should have thought about that the past few months, but I just thought about that the past few weeks and said, you know what, I should check up on people.
And it doesn't take much energy to just, you're already pondering, scrolling through Facebook anyways. It takes, a split second to just say, hey, how are you, to someone.
Yeah. So those family and friends out there, if you get not a random, pretty much random, because I haven't talked to you in a while. Say, hey, how are you? Try to tell anything. I'm just trying to check how you are. Watch us on Highway 54. We're here to help, and we're all going through our challenges, and we understand what's going on, and it's hard. You can only watch Netflix so much. Kids are home, and they get in your nerves, and you can only walk out so many times. So it's hard, very hard. So I understand. So, anyways, that's kind of our PSA is reach out to people, check your family and friends, coworkers, and see how they are. All right. So I know we're going to go on to Leslie right now. Leslie has the crystal of the week, and then we'll go on to Erica. She has some fun 10 facts about Japan. All right. Hold on.
We're bringing you the crystal of the week. This week's crystal is blue kyanite. Blue kyanite is connected to our throat chakra. This area governs the ability to express and communicate clear thoughts and ideas. It's also related to truth, maturity, independence, and the ability to trust ourselves and to trust others. Blue kyanite encourages self-expression and communication. It cuts through fears and blockages, helping one speak one's truth with clarity, making it a great stone for public speakers and performers. Blue kyanite also facilitates in the alignment of all the subtle bodies, creating a longer and stronger aura. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at My Lucky Karma, and swing by our Etsy shop. Keep spreading your love and light, and until next time, namaste.
All right. So, Leslie, we're thinking about you too. I know you just had a death in the family, and we're praying for you, and you'll be in our prayers. But on the good part, she's very busy at her shop, and she said part of the video is helping, and people are looking forward to Kainite. So Kainite is actually my favorite all-time favorite. I have it right here. It's on my mixer. It's great for public speakers. It opens up the throat chakra. And it, like she said, it opens up your true feelings, being truthful, communication, and all that. So I always have this. If I have problems communicating, I hold on to it, or I just leave it on my mixer. So Blue Kainite. So this is how it looks like.
Nice.
Yeah, you can. There's some polished and some are. This is a rough cut. So I wanted the more Blue Kainite. So you can wear it as a necklace. You can wear it as a bracelet. But the raw form is what I have right here. Blue Kainite.
It's also very good for the escort industry because it opens up the throat.
Enterprises.
I was just thinking,
Why do you give me a Blue Kainite? I need to open your throat.
I'm gonna need all my girls to wear some Blue Kainite.
Weird. Okay.
Also widely, used among the yodelers of the Andes Mountains.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yodel. Anyways,
You
I heard
should
about
have one, Erica. You're a singer.
Oh,
I should. Somebody should get me one of those.
so you're saying singers have really good throat
Cough,
control?
hint, hint.
I should totally have one of those. I'm really sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Erica coming up. What do we have today?
10 interesting facts about Japan.
Yay.
And I'll just go. All right, so.
Oh, sorry. Let's play it. Hold on. Let's play it. Hold on. I'm like, what am I doing?
I got you. Yes, I'm still giggling. Okay.
You got me on that throat chakra. That's why.
I have a tendency. It's fine.
That's a good idea.
So it's a thing that we all spent time in Japan, and we loved it so much. And I spent so much time with the culture that I spent so much time like inundating myself as much as possible with everything around me. And so some of these I actually wasn't surprised about. And then some of them I was like, is that a fact? But so we're going to start with the 10. Now, mind you, there's 25 on this list, so we might mention some mentionables here. But we'll start with number 10. And number 10 is fruit is one of the best gifts that you can give.
Yes.
It's the best fruit, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So they said that, once upon a time, it was really hard to grow certain kinds of fruits there. So they used to say it's really expensive. So it's considered a really nice gift to give that. And one of those things is they actually, in Japan, this is where they started doing the square watermelons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that they're like, we go to the commissary and pick up a watermelon. We're like $5. They're like, holy crap. We spend like $45 on a watermelon. We're like, what?
And that square one is like, it could be up to like 30 to 40,000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like square. Like
super expensive.
square?
It's square.
Square, yeah.
You know why?
They grow them in a box.
The packaging, right? They package it.
Packaging, yeah, it's easier to carry.
Yeah, because it doesn't roll. It's easy to carry. So they grow them inside of a box and it takes the shape.
But it's cultivated.
Really?
It's cultivated. Yeah. It's the best manure, whatever. Japan does.
Very Japanese, cultivated, and it's
the
best.
The perfect sweetness, the right amount of no seeds. Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
It's really good. It's a really good watermelon. Like, what the fuck is this? When you eat it's like when you eat wagyu, like what kind of magic?
Oh yeah. Wagyu beef, man.
$300. Oh my goodness.
I do it every time too. And I'll do it again. All right.
Yakitori. Gosh, yakitori, yakiniku. That's what I'm missing.
All the foods. All right. So number 9. Taking a power nap at work gets more and more common.
Dude.
Japan, dude, everywhere. They'd stop everything they're doing, pull over, take a nap. I'm just like, what?
Right?
Y'all just
they put a sign and they're like at the chair like this.
Yep.
Really?
Just
Put a little sign.
take a nap.
I'm taking a nap. I learned it from them. What are these guys do? Like, that's a great idea. Went into my car.
It takes a talent. It is, or okay, maybe not talent, maybe it is just cultivated. But the ability to sleep for this society, they can just, standing up on the train, just out, on some stairs, like outside the train station, just out. Not that they're drunk or anything. They just want to sit down and take a nap. I mean, the ability to sleep wherever they want is amazing.
And still get off at their stop.
Yes.
Really?
Like a left time where they just automatically know, can touch go.
So what they do is they're taking the train every fucking day. So like they exactly how long it takes to get to point A to point B. So they have a little phone and it vibrates or rings, whatever. Ring. Oh, wake it up. Yeah. But
because it's always on time. You know that too.
Yeah. Someone they just wake up. Like they just like it's my stop.
Yep.
Like,
And poop, awake. I was like, holy snotgrass. That's impressive. That's straight up impressive.
But now it's impressive.
Try it. Take a nap in the middle of the day. See what happens. You wake up.
Yeah, no way. Impossible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
All right,
sleep.
Number 8. Japan has a penis festival.
What?
Or otherwise known as Kanamara Matsuri. Yeah. Kanamara Katsuri Matsuri. And it was so cool. I don't know if you guys ever went when you guys were there, but they carry around this gigantic phallus on their shoulders on this shrine, and they carry it through the streets of town. And the festival, it's literally called the Festival for the Phallus of Steel.
It's amazing. I really think that is something that we should adopt, but just make it like Nani, right? Like the Vagina Festival. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
it's so crazy. It's this gigantic pink phallus. Right?
Oh,
yeah, depending on what city it's in, all of the trees, all of the trees are shaped like penises.
Have you noticed that? Like, it's weirdly not
no, it's fertility.
You'll never catch me with like that guy doing. No, I ain't
right.
No, it's all based on fertility. The snacks are shaped like penises. The candies, the lollipop, everything is shaped like penises. And I literally got all of it.
Yeah, there's a show on Amazon, and one of the guy he spoke about this. He spoke about the penis festival, and I looked at my husband. And I said, "We need to go with that."
Yep. Fertility festival. Yep, pretty much.
It's their fertility. Yep.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, the first time I saw it, it was so wild. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. Man. It was amazing. I mean, so much fun. And the fact that, I kept like the little candies that were inside of little wrappers that they like tossed at you and stuff. I was like, I love this. This is the cutest thing ever. Look at these little tiny penis. Take them. It is Japan. But, so
the only time you can put this in your mouth is right there.
not the only time, I'll have you know.
Oh my God. That's
No,
crazy.
it's a blast though. And again, it's not sexualized. It's just about fertility, and they're just it's like they want any reason to celebrate, and that is just one of them,
I love that about the Japanese culture. It's like, want to celebrate something? Yeah, whatever. Let's just go. That's cool. I love it. Awesome.
All right, number 7. There are more than 1,500 earthquakes a year.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
On the record.
1,500, and then they can rate more than an 8 on the Richter scale. Actually.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it 2010? The big one.
Yeah. That was 2010. I was deployed at the time.
Were you there?
Not in 2010.
Oh.
Yeah, I was deployed at the time, and my family was there. That was some scary mess right there, dude. I was like, "Is everybody okay?" And I called like the shop, and my husband's like, "Yeah, they sent all the dependents home, so my kids are at the work center, and they're like, don't worry, Airman so and so's pushing them in chairs. We're good." I was like,
60 seconds. more than
I
a
was like,
minute rocking and rolling. 8 point something or what it was.
Wow.
It was huge. And then of course
it was huge.
the tsunami
Yeah.
hit,
Yeah.
the coast.
I was like, dude, I was so freaked out. They let everybody that was deployed with us that came out of Japan go home a month early because it was so crazy.
That was Tomodachi, Operation Tomodachi.
Operation Tomodachi. Yep. And everyone got nifty little things for units and all this other stuff. But yeah. All right. So number 6. To clean is part of the education in many schools.
How
That
to
explains
clean?
a lot.
To clean, yes. So it's literally part of the curriculum. That's what they do. They will clean.
Yeah.
Like
See,
it's part of the
America
curriculum.
Yes.
Yeah,
we
America
did that
no
here.
doubt, right?
We are dirty ass motherfuckers.
Yeah,
You think?
we are. We are.
They're the worst. Yeah,
That's
but
horrible.
these kids, that's like part of
Wow.
their
Yep.
curriculum. They're taught, you go into school, part of your regime is to, guess what? You came in, you take your shoes off, you put on your school shoes, like they're like slippers.
Mhm.
And when you make a mess, you clean it. And at the end of the day, you clean everything up. And then guess what? You don't have to hire somebody to do it because guess what? You already did it. So
Wow.
the benefits of hard work, is part of their actual education system. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they teach in the early years of their education mannerism and one together. We're all together. So they clean. There's no janitors. They clean all together. They have a time to clean. They also have time to serve food each other too.
Mm-hmm.
That cafeteria.
That's it.
I
My
love
soul
that.
came.
I love that.
I
Yeah.
do.
Not-
I think
But
that we
they
need to
teach that. Yeah, they teach that. Doesn't mean there's no assholes in Japan, but there are. So it depends.
True.
They're clean
True.
assholes. Clean assholes.
Yeah.
There's some clean assholes. They're bleached assholes.
Clean
Porn stars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
like
yeah,
that.
it's
They're bleached
basically
assholes, like porn stars.
their
That's all.
curriculum is to instill a sense of citizenship, togetherness as one. So it doesn't work really well when they go to work because all these what do you call it, businessmen. They're all about one company, one. You know what I'm saying? But in the long run, they're very patient, more patient than usual, and the kids have a sense of ownership. They clean, they cook, they do everything together, and so yeah.
Mhm.
I love Japan.
Exactly. I dig it. I love it. But all right. Number 5 is that Japan consists of 6,852 islands.
Yes. So
yes.
So here's
So
my
over 6,800 islands.
so here's my question: is Japan Islanders or Asian?
Ooh,
I was just
Pacific
thinking that.
Islanders.
Oh,
Because they have islands.
Yes. I win.
You technically can say I'm an Islander. Same with the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
people have a hard time. Like we are. I mean, it's an island, right? Islander. When you think island, it's not just Polynesia and Guam,
Nope.
Hawaii.
Philippines has islands too.
Where we're at.
Mhm. Indeed.
Or the
All right. Let's moving on. Number 3. It is the highest. It has the highest number of vending machines in the world.
yeah.
I believe that.
Yes.
it's the weirdest kind of vending machines. Like you want hot corn in a can, Japan's got it.
Oh yeah. Cold coffee, hot coffee, cold soup. Hot
Corn
soup.
soup,
Yeah, man. I envy you guys. Every time I see
underwear,
those, I want to try those out.
panty, shoot.
Oh yeah, Japanese.
Really?
Japanese girl panties, porn, you name it. There's it. It's those the little vending machines with the porn and stuff in it have little black blinders around it. So you have to like walk into it, and then you can see like pictures of the little the girl that was wearing the panties that is in there, and then there's little dildos in them and stuff. And I'm just like, dude, you can put anything in a vending machine here.
Yeah. High tech. I mean, like you can buy cigarettes. You have to have the ID card. It's a little bit safety, but still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then cook French fries, fried food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. There's so many crazy things.
In the subways, they have the digital vending machine, so it's like a big ass iPad little thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This one right
You
here,
can buy like batteries, and you can buy headphones. You're like, oh no, I left mine. I'm just gonna buy those right here. Yeah.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, this is
Crazy.
the wildest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, produce, rice, everything. You could
Yes.
Produce also? Wow.
Oh yeah, produce,
This is the
food. I
thing
mean,
that
you
my
name it.
son is looking forward to. He's like, I am so excited to see all of this because
And you,
Me too.
we were planning on going actually this year, but COVID and all
here,
that shit.
there's an egg
So-
machine, egg vending machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh man, I miss Georgia coffee. You get Georgia coffee cold.
Oh man, I love
Yes.
this
You know
coffee.
what's bullshit? Boss coffee's bullshit. I'm sorry. Boss coffee's
You like
bullshit.
boss?
Georgia coffee all the way.
Yeah.
Do you know why they actually don't sell Georgia coffee in the United States?
Why?
Who
Why?
do?
Because of
Where?
Starbucks. Because Coca-Cola owns Georgia Coffee.
I have a couple of stores in the Metroplex area that I can go.
Yeah, but those you have to literally like it. They
Oh
import
yeah,
it
it's like
from
an
Japan.
import. Yeah, it's like it's not widely sold. Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy though. I was like,
Mhm.
this is.
But
I'm
it's
gonna get my Japanese coffee truck. And I'm gonna have they'll go around all the offices and have this one truck is all coffee, little
Heck yeah.
Japanese coffee.
Please do.
Oh,
Sell
they're
out.
so good. Oh, they're so good.
I
Just
would
please
sell out.
do.
If you do that, I will order it and just mail it to
No.
me because we only get
I'll be-
Mr. Coffee. We have Mr.
Oh.
Coffee here, and that's it.
You can find Georgia on like Amazon or something, but it's so expensive. Holy
It is because it's considered an import because
Yeah.
they cannot make it here because Coca-Cola and Starbucks have a thing going on where they're like, that's fine. Don't you worry. We're not going to infringe upon your territory. But they really should because that shit's bomb. I'm sorry.
It's so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing I
Oh.
miss. All the vending machines and coffee. Oh,
Oh, yeah. So much. Number 2, they have one of the world's lowest crime rates.
yes.
Yeah, because who wants to go to jail there?
Oh,
So
nobody.
it's-
That's a really
well,
bad idea. Yeah.
Well, and they're just like it's just the culture. I mean, they just flip and take care of you. I will say I never felt safer than in Japan walking down at like
America has to have
on our road, drunk off my ass, knowing that I'd be fine.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
I'd be
Oh, yeah. I was never concerned about it. They were like, you're going down to Bar Road by yourself. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Bar Road by myself. I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about the Americans.
Pretty much.
I'm worried about me.
Wow.
I was like, I was worried about. I was like, this is silly.
I've dropped my wallet 3 times, and every single time it returned to the police station. Everything in there, and my wallet is
Really?
a full Japanese wallet because I keep losing my wallet. So I have the long wallet, like this long, because everything in there. Yeah, man. Like, oh shit! And then within an hour or two, the police will call me and say,
Really?
Yeah.
Money and all, huh?
single to everything.
Nothing
Wow.
missing ever.
That
Money
wouldn't
and-
happen here, man. It'd be gone
I lost
forever.
mine one time, and
Oh, yeah.
they found everything in it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. That'll never happen
Oh.
here.
They'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
here's your
no.
wallet, dog. Just your ID. That's it."
Yeah. Well, no,
you're lucky.
Yeah, someone left their phone, and my daughter found it, and she purposely went to customer service, and people at customer service were like, "What do you want us to do?" And she's like, "Well, someone left their phone. Well, what do you want us to do?" It's like they are boggled by the fact that someone wanted to turn in
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And you're
So
like,
dumb. Yeah, I've done it before. I picked up money and took it, and they're like, "Why didn't you just keep it?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not mine.
hmm
exactly.
They're just mind boggled. They're like, "Thanks, bro." I'm
I
like,
know. How many times have I won? We've done that too. You know, we'll return money to someone. Say someone dropped this, and walking away, I'm thinking, I don't think that was a good idea. I think that's going straight in your pocket.
"Yeah, I don't think that was a good idea. People aren't honest. This is weird."
Yes.
And they really take care of the kids, because how many kids do you find traveling on the subway by themselves?
Really?
Like
6,
When you
7
say
years
kids,
old.
Really?
5, 6, 7. Yeah, little.
Wow.
And because each of their backpacks says basically what school they're from and what color it is. So
Wow.
if they get misguided, people guide them in the right way.
which is
Wow.
awesome.
That is
Yeah.
so sweet. That's sweet.
And
They're
if,
like,
That would
"Oh,
never
no."
and if a foreigner kid
Never
gets
happened
lost,
here.
okay, so it happened to me before, right? So It's my fault, Uncle Floyd. We're walking with my friend, the Palmas. We're walking, and the kids are following me. Right, all the adults are behind me. No matter what, I'm always a fast walker. Subway, so I jog to the subway, and the kids follow me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong subway because everybody's not coming. So I got off. But Roman's 18 years old now. But that time he was like 10 years old. He followed me behind me, and the door's closed. I'm looking. Oh. And Jen Palma will never let it down. He like trusted me after that.
Remember when you lost me, Uncle Floyd?
I know.
Oh, no.
Roman, love you, Roman. He just turned 18.
Forever he'll remember
Uncle
that.
Floyd's a bad man.
Literally, like, oh. And you see Jen's face. Holy shit. All right, Jen. Love you. But yeah, I remember that happening.
Oh man.
It's always it's funny but scary. But anyways, at the next station, we call it the station director. They call the next station, and they brought him to back. One staff,
That's awesome.
one staff, yeah, got on the train with the Roman and came back with him.
Wow.
But they take such good care of the kids. I mean, literally, if one gets off track, they're like, "Here you go, get back on there." You know, send them on their merry way.
Yeah, I mean, like even here in the U.S., okay, even like even if it was a harmless stranger, right? They wouldn't even go out of their way to try to help, right?
No.
They'd be like, "And not my business," and just keep going, right? Like,
Oh no, yeah, nope, it's standard protocol there. You will.
People look at you weird if you do that. Like when we were
yeah,
at Disney,
you're thinking like, "Oh, are you creepy? Are you a predator?"
Yeah. we were at Disney,
no.
and this little kid was on her own, and she looked like she was on the verge of crying. And I was like, I went up to her and I said, "Sweetie, are you okay?" And
Yeah.
she's like, "I lost my mommy." And so
Oh.
I walk her to the nearest Disney employee, and
Yeah.
Disney employee is like, "Do you know her?" And I'm like, "No, I saw her there crying. I'm bringing her to you."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Really? Oh, you're so sweet." And I said, "Sweetie, do you want me to stay here until mommy comes?" And she's like, "Yes, please." And the Disney dude was like, "Really? You're gonna stay here?" And I said, "Yeah, she's scared. She don't know you. I found her."
Yeah. Oh.
That's so weird, dude.
But
That's
people look
crazy
at
to
you
hear.
and you're like, "Why do you do that? Why would you do
Right.
that? Don't you, aren't you
Because
afraid
I'm
that they're gonna
human and I care.
Yes.
or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you're like some person who's gonna kidnap their kid?" And I'm like, "Dude, I got my own kid. I don't need another."
I don't need any more.
So,
We already know what they do. Yeah, thank you.
so no, I don't need another kid. I just want her to find her mom. Because if that happened to me, I would like lose my shit. And I'd be like bothering every single person. "Have you seen my kid? This is my kid."
Right.
Aw.
In Disney, come on, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
scary, man.
Disney
The moment
Japan, maybe. I might
Disney
be.
Japan, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Disney like Orlando. I don't know.
Dude, it's easy. It's okay. Like I feel fine if my kid were to get lost at Disney Sea or something in Japan, because you know what? Like, there's only a handful of other white people there. Like, I would.
I need help finding my daughter. She's the little white.
I was like, yeah, I need help finding mine. She's brown. So's my son. He's brown too. Have you seen them? All right. Some things to note, some honorable mentions before we go on to number one. That many Japanese eat ready-made breakfast or dinner from a supermarket.
I love it and miss it.
Family
Right.
Mart, 7-Eleven, Lawson's, any of those big convenience chains, they always had ready-made food, and it was always amazing.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Always
incredible.
amazing.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Start and stop right there. You can get your breakfast and you can get your dinner there. Start and your snack. I love 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Wow.
So amazing. So amazing. I used to there was one right outside the gate. Always just stop in. You're like, I am trashed. Look, food.
Gosh, remember
Indeed.
the rice balls and the egg rolls?
Yeah.
Oh my wish.
Wow.
So the soup, the udon.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they just have vats of wonderful things just steeping in soups, and you're just
that
like,
always
I should eat
Chicken-
all of these things.
chicken intestine,
And clean. You never have to worry about food poisoning.
fish, eggs.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's
Soup
fresh
is like
every single day. So
banana.
Gosh.
you can't do
They
that here in America. Jeez.
no, they even told you what hour it was made because they know it's not
Really?
going to last a day.
Uh,
They were like,
chicken.
this was made
dog,
at 6
yeah.
p.m. You're
Oh my gosh. They had these fried chicken things that came in like a
Karage.
came in like a fries container that you get like McDonald's or something, but it's filled with like these fried chicken nuggets things. Oh my gosh.
Wow. That was so amazing,
So
man.
you're saying if I want to go to Japan and I want to be cheap because I'm paying for my kids' food, it's okay to go
Yes.
to these places, and
Oh,
yeah.
I won't feel
Oh,
like
So
mom.
good.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So good. dude.
7-Eleven
So
it
good.
is.
it's so
Mhm.
good.
We're going 7-Eleven. Let's go, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's way more affordable. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Absolutely.
cheap. Oh, it's cheap, and they have all kinds of goodness that's clean and it's delicious. I love
And
it.
it's so tasty.
Yeah.
I was like, there was a reason I came out of there 200 pounds. I tell you what.
Man.
Oh, yeah, the spicy chicken. That's
Right there.
spicy.
With that,
pizza.
Wow.
right there. That's the
Oh,
soup right
man.
there.
Oh,
Right
that's
there.
it.
Wow.
And they
So
have
much winning. Gosh, it's
chicken
all so
skin.
good.
Hey, yeah. The
Yeah.
egg and the fish and the tofu. Like, oh my god, so good.
So good.
Man, look at that.
But yeah, they
Yeah.
had these fried chicken. It was like spicy little fried chicken. It was so good.
Oh, yes. Those are always good.
Man, those are
Look at that.
the balls.
Oh,
Oh, God.
My
Okay,
son
so
can live
what you're
off
saying
of-
is
guys are
next
killing
episode,
me
we're just
here.
going to do
Look
an
at that.
entire episode talking about the food because we could talk about the food in Japan for days.
Oh man.
The food in Japan was always so amazing, and there was never, I never had a thing that I was like, yeah, I will never do that again. Yeah.
Wow.
Except for
You gotta
sushi.
warn me
But
before
that's
you do that. I gotta make sure I eat before that show.
Well, see, here's the thing. It was a thing for me is that everybody was like, well, you don't know if you don't like sushi or not. I was like, I tell you what, I sat down at a sushi bar and I ate everything that came around that conveyor belt in Japan. So nobody could tell me I just didn't know if I like sushi. I tried everything. I nearly barfed at the end, but I
You did
tried
try.
every last kind. The only kind I really like was like the little pillow eggs with the rice inside of it. Those were good. But that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a sushi person. I don't like sushi. I can say I've had it in Japan over and over. Still not a fan of it. I will say though, I have tried it in Japan and I tried it in America, and they're both awful, but Japan is slightly better.
Agreed. Agreed.
my
All
son
right.
only eats Philadelphia rolls, so I told him, I said, honey, they
God.
don't make that in Japan, so
That's
just
like
let you know.
there's cooked meat and cheese in there. Nah, that's not the same thing, kiddo.
So he's like, do they have at least onigiri? And I said, yeah, they have onigiri. I can live off of onigiri, mommy.
Yeah,
Okay.
true story.
Love sushi. Actually, it's true story too. Eric is the one who actually got me into sushi.
Blech. I mean,
And
really?
Eric is actually the one who kind of pushed me to use chopsticks, right? Eric, remember that?
Yeah, man, you're talking way back now.
Yeah.
Oh no, my mother made me use chopsticks so that I wouldn't embarrass her when we went to places.
That's
She made me practice with those mugs. I tell you what, it was crazy. Anyway, so one of the other notable things that I wanted to mention on this list is something I actually learned that I wasn't allowed to do because one of my friends, Kyoko, told me this. It is forbidden to bathe in a hot spring and onsen with tattoos.
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
loosened up a little.
Well, it loosened up because of the special.
Yeah, but
some
back
of the-
then,
some of
yeah, I had a whole bunch of tattoos on my back, and they were like, "Oh no, 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 no!" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
They were like,
I think it
"No,
depends
no."
on the onsen, like how traditional it is,
Yeah,
and like if they get a lot of customers that are foreigners. If they get a lot of
Yes.
customers that are foreigners, they tend to be like a little bit more lenient. But yes,
a little more, but yeah, like my friends used to try to take me to the traditional places that they were going to, and like they would like make me wear like basically like a jacket over top because all of my tattoos are on my back. So if I was wearing a bathing suit, you're gonna see everything, you know. But they did the connotation was that it was considered like with Yakuza, the
I was gonna ask.
Japanese,
they're being
Japanese
general.
gangs.
They're being general. So they're like saying they can't say no.
You have a tattoo, you're Yakuza.
They're just saying no tattoos. Period.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they weren't trying to be rude. They were just like, we assume that you're a gangster, bitch.
But they had tried to loosen that up because of Summer Olympics coming up. It was supposed to be last year, but now it's this year. So yeah, they loosened up a little bit. But if you go into like the out of Tokyo, out of the cities, they're fine with it. Like whatever, you know, because technically, they're like, oh, okay, whatever. If not, they, like I said, they give you a little towel.
Mm-hmm.
Or man, it's like the towel like this small, like this. You can just, I need a bigger towel than that one, man. Like,
no, you don't, Floyd.
A little bit longer.
Good. We know you good, Floyd.
Oh goodness.
I was trying to joke. She's like, what? And she's like, longer.
Sure, yeah.
Man, some of the best times I had though were at Onsens. The things I miss most about Japan, Onsens, 7-Eleven, the yakiniku place right over by Joyful Honda. Those are the things that I miss the most. Gosh.
I'm telling you, like next episode, we're just gonna talk about nothing about food. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Because I love me some food.
Oh, I gotta wait. I'll tell you what I really miss, besides ramen and sushi, but I don't know if that's number one. What's your number one? You say number one yet?
No, not yet. Number one is there are more seniors than kids.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a popular. No one's reproducing.
Yeah.
And the longevity. People are living forever there.
Forever and ever.
That is the key.
They say that the younger,
just keep working until you.
They're saying the younger generation is not interested in sex.
Okinawa actually has 2 of the oldest people in the world on it right now at 117 and 116 years old.
Yeah.
That's impressive. There's something in the air there.
They call it
in the air.
I think it's the food.
Yeah,
diet sushi that we ate, you know?
Yeah. Like asexual or whatever, they're playing games, you know.
Oh yeah.
They, we practice social distancing now. They've been doing that for decades.
But more, I think it's the social interaction. I think
they're stay home. Like, okay. Like I should stay home. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, they're losing social skills and they're becoming more interested in like online interaction or AI interaction to where they're not needing or they're feeling like they don't need that other human interaction. So therefore they're engaging in sex.
True
story. It's crazy, but it's,
they're like, I did engage with sex. You didn't see me fuck that orc online.
I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe in the big cities, but in the country, I mean, they're booming because like we live in the country. Yokota is in the country, actually.
Yeah.
There are kids everywhere. Like a lot of kids here, but like
I know that. I walked down Bar Row.
Yeah, right.
Man. I know they're getting busy.
This toddler here in the bar. Like the hell? Hey, man.
Oh, look, you have a baby in the bar.
People on Bar Row. There's some raunchy people on Bar Row, I will say.
A little bit.
That was number one. So my number one thing that I miss, and I know you guys are going to say the same thing, is
the snuggle cafes.
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yes, there are more than 3,000 McDonald's in Japan.
El Sizer.
McDonald's.
Dude, you know how it looked like in the picture? That's how it looked.
That's how it would look when it got to you. And they would apologize every single time when they had to take the time to make chicken nuggets to get them to you. And they're like, we are so sorry that we're not done with these yet. I'm like, please take your time. This is cool.
Wow. And it's not large, medium, it's small. It's a S size.
M size.
You say large, like large.
Yeah, I know.
Large desto. El size. El Saizo.
And the large,
McDonald's.
large is like this, like this.
Yeah, they're portions, man.
They're like, would you like a large? Yes. This is
No.
perfect. Thank you.
And no,
True. I know that in the UK, McDonald's UK, their large is different from our large. I think their large is the size of our medium here.
Oh yeah.
So I
Well.
wouldn't be surprised because
Oh no.
Yeah, it was weird. I got used to the Japan portion sizes, and then I come to Texas of all places.
Oh man,
it was the crazy. Like I was like, this is ridiculous. This is 60 for like a week. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. But yep, that is the list for today. Like I said, there were some other notables, but like the cafes that you can pay to cuddle, nothing sexual, which was funny to me. But I was like, hey, if you're craving human comfort and you need some, and you just like, you know what, I don't really want sex. Could somebody just give me a hug?
I know, it's so sweet.
Wow.
Like
the Owl Cafes. There was the Owl Cafe on where was that? Where was that? Is that Hachioji? Where was the Owl Cafe? There's the Owl Cafe, and then the there was like the exotic cafe where you just went in. There's like lemurs and crap.
Lizards, cat cafe.
Well,
cat cafe. Yeah.
It's like all of my friends wanted to go to Akihabara to go to the maid restaurants.
I was disappointed by that. Like it was really like.
Well, it's for dirty old men. They walk on the bar above you so you can look at their skirts, and you're like, oh look.
But I get that, and I was expecting that, right? So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be very flirtatious, and they're going to,
But it's not. They're just walking.
But it's not. There's like, I was like, really? You gotta see more in a flipping Denny's. Like,
it's literally they walk on the table to like get from point A to point B. They're not doing anything special. They just have a skirt on. So guys are like, ooh, neato, panties. I've never seen these before.
It wasn't like they were wearing regular like our panties, right? Like they were wearing like granny, like it wasn't anything like
playful. It was playful.
No, there weren't little butt cheeks hanging out. Nothing. It's just
nothing.
Hey, look, she's walking to get food, but I want to look at her panties. You know, just
so
it's silly.
A factor is, of course, in Japan, you know, even with the geisha, you know, the dancers and all that.
Yeah.
Even the slight look of their was like erotic to them.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So now, of course, so many skin, but now it's like the maid. It's more.
It's the experience.
The experience. And too, that some of these people, some of these guys or girls, they don't have a lot of interaction with people, emotionally. They don't touch. They're not really touchy-feely kind of people. So they go to the maid. Even a little slight touch of the hand
is a huge,
huge.
And then I jizz in my pants.
Or they've been with the same woman all their life, and so go to the maid and like it's another girl, another person. It's like, oh my god,
no judgment,
touch me.
Yeah, you touch my hand.
I'm mating like, hey, you want to dress up like a maid and play games with them? Like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're so funny.
Same thing with the cuddle. I know some people try to do it here, but I don't know how that's going to work here. But in Japan, it's more of like,
Actually, that is a thriving business in the United States right now.
It is. I heard that.
Maybe not right now.
No,
probably not right.
I was like, well, maybe pre-COVID, but it was actually starting to thrive. It's just that's what they do. They go to somebody to literally lay in bed and like have them hold them and like
or the boyfriend experience thing. The
boyfriend experience,
hiring boyfriends, and it's not sexual. It's not like an escort or whatever. It's just like they take them to go to like do selfies with for like social media and stuff like that. It's like a boyfriend for a day.
Yeah.
Wow. Just weird to me because I don't whatever.
China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan.
That's crazy.
Hey, it becomes more and more prominent in the States, but I'm just like, we are a melting pot for a reason. It's because we attribute ourselves to all of these cultural things and we bring them all together. And we're always like, you know what we need? We need some cuddling. That's what we need. Let's bring that in over here. You know what else we need? We need some. Yeah, I know what we need. We need more vending machines. Do it. Do it now. We need French maid bars. Do
But
that
it's kind
too.
of endearing. I'm kind of okay with that, right? Like I like that. Like I like being, what are we going to culturally appropriate next?
We're like, I got this. I know what we need.
Well, like I said, one is it in Texas? I think the Texas base. They tried to reimagine, redesign the mahjong.
The
Oh
what?
yeah,
Mahjong,
You
you
know
hear
that
about that?
mahjong game.
Yeah,
It
they
was
changed
a bunch
the
of
Chinese
sorority
character.
sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they did.
nobody, as far as we know, nobody Chinese, Asian was involved with this redesign of this
Oh
new
no.
mahjong. They call
It
it
was just-
American mahjong. I'm like, wow.
Oh no.
It's cute though.
All
It's cute. It's done before, but the point is they make it like we're improving. We're up. The words. It's the wordplay. Put it and said to call it American mahjong. Dude, they all the comments out on Instagram. Look it up. It's like it's nuts. Don't get, it looks
No.
Erica.
No.
yeah. American mahjong.
I like my mahjong perfectly traditional. No.
So
The end.
Yeah,
Getting
You
it
know
on
why
the
he
fly.
did that?
Chinese
Americans got
mahjong.
tired of losing. Because true
They said,
mahjong players,
This
true
game.
mahjong
We'll
players
make our
feel.
own.
They can
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, they do it through
Nice,
feel.
indeed. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell what your
The characters.
mahjong tiles are
Yes.
just by feel.
Mhm.
Because I remember growing up. The older titas would have
Yes.
mahjong, and they'd be like, "No, you cannot be here. Go." 'Cause, they said it was bad.
They don't
But
play
I would
around with
watch,
the mahjong.
watch from the doorway. Oh, and they slam the tiles down. They pick it up, and you're like, "Wow."
Yep.
But
That's some like Joy Luck Club crap right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're like 8, 9 years old and you're seeing this, you're like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna do that when I grow up."
Yeah.
I never
I
did.
did. We call that domino in the
Domino.
States.
There we go. It was a
He was
bonus
like,
at the table.
Domino, motherfucker. I was like, oh, this is like mahjong. Neat.
Now, my kids know how to do it. My girls know how to play mahjong. I don't. I wish I did, but
It's like poker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I never
I
got.
thought it was more like bingo, but
Yeah, it's like
no. What did I think it was more like? Yeah.
All right, get up for Erica, everybody. 10 things.
Woo-hoo.
Yay,
We love
woo-hoo!
Japan.
All right.
Hey,
get
thanks
more
was
like
fun.
that.
That was
I
fun. I
know.
want to go to Japan now.
We're
Oh, you
determined.
really need to.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You-
Yes.
I was there, Eric. I was there for 16 years. I guess, hey, come on over.
Man.
I know.
So much fun, man.
Rose is still there, so hopefully she'll be happy when we go there.
How long
If
is
not
Rose
me. Just the same amount of time as me. 17, 18 years.
Damn.
Yeah, she speaks.
Yeah.
She speaks conversation Japanese, so enough.
Oh wow.
Nice.
And the two boys speak and read Japanese.
Mm.
Yes,
Indeed.
I wouldn't mind. I actually wouldn't mind living there.
Yeah, it's a great experience. There's one of those everybody that who are adventurous, who embrace Japan, love it, and
I would go back.
they base their whole entire daily life and task and cultural experience here in America or in Asia or in Europe against Japan. So, anyways,
Wow.
I was like, I don't know how many times I've been driving and traveling. I'm like, I hate America. I'm like, well, where else have you been? Well, lots of places, but right now I hate America.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
All right, ask Susanna. Are you next? All right, we've come up with some 3 interesting questions. We might do 4, depends. So we'll 3 questions that we came up from my friends and family. So the number 1, Susanna, is it normal to have hair down there, and should I shave my pubic hair?
Absolutely, it's normal. I mean, it's gross, so yeah, it's normal.
That's a good question.
so personal grooming is absolutely, a personal preference. So if you like, opening your crotch to a jungle, then have at it. That's great. If you are one that likes it, super clean and smooth, that's fine too. Just be aware, and again, this should go back to, sex ed is, there is a correlation between having zero pubic hair and an increase in STIs. So that's sexually transmitted infections. And there's the thought behind that is, especially if you have just shaved before engaging in any kind of like sexual activity, your skin, is tender. There could be cuts, there could be abrasions. So it's easier for you to pick up possibly pick up some sort of infection. So keep that in mind. But it's personal preference. I mean, also, if you're in a relationship, I think it's considerate to see what your partner's preference is as well. You might be completely fine with having, full, Congo jungle down there, but they might think it's nice if you just trim it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to them, and see what they prefer. Ultimately, don't base your decision completely on their judgment or on their, what they prefer, but take it into consideration. So yes, it's completely normal. Just be aware that if you do like keeping it very, very short or shaved, that you do that, at least like 6 to 12 hours before any kind of sexual activity.
Why is that?
Cool.
Why is that?
Because if it's freshly shaved, there could be nicks or abrasions or things like that. You just want to make sure your skin isn't as super irritated right before intercourse.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think like, without giving images, but yeah, done it the whole thing, and then now it's trimming. Now it's like, well,
there's an evolution of pubic hair, people.
Yeah.
I want to make a montage of this and put it on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure that would violate the rules. But seriously, there is, right? Like there was like, no one thought about, shaving anything up until the end of the 70s.
70s, yeah.
End of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. And then it was minimum, right? It was bikini line. And then it went from that to shorter and shorter until, we got the landing strip. That was when the landing strip came in the late 80s and early 90s. And then 2000s, it was, especially early 2000s, it was bald. Bald was where it was at. Like that was,
yeah.
And then it started going back to like right now, it teeters between not full bush, but definite pubic hair trimmed and bald. So those are usually the go-tos right now. But it's a personal preference. It's a trend, just like anything else. As long as you are keeping yourself clean, that is usually the only thing that your partner cares about for the most part. There are some people, and I've heard stories. And you guys can chime in on this, that I have heard from a couple men that if there is even one hair, that is an immediate turnoff. If there's even one hair on their partner, they need like absolute bald, like completely fearless. And then there are some dudes out there that are like, oh yeah, let's unwrap that like Christmas present shit,
They want that jungle booty.
I think it was like, oh yeah, you need to have pubic hair so you can just have a little present for your partner to unwrap. And I'm like, oh my god, the images. But yeah, it's a preference. I mean, keep yourself clean is the important part. Talk to your partner, see what they like.
Yeah.
What about manscaping? So I feel like this question is so biased towards women. Like, what do you think about men? Like, what is the
I mean, far as I know, in our industry in the bar, there is some city, towns that landscaping. So they trim
that advertised,
and of course with bikini wax or Brazilian wax, there are guys who get the full wax also. So that's an industry that's happening also.
Yeah.
Because they're more manly or whatever. But to me, like
It makes your junk look huge.
preference. Some people, like some people are very hairy, so like they need to trim or they need to
Mhm.
trim it down and all that. So it's acceptable. It just depends on your partner. Like, what do you
Yeah.
guys prefer? How do you
Mhm.
feel? Because you have to upkeep it. So if
Mhm.
you're that kind of person that really you have to do the same thing down. So if you don't have time, you just trim or whatever you gotta do. If you're in quarantine, like, fuck it, you just let it grow and wait for the summertime and to shave it off. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a personal preference and it goes through phases. So it's going to be super. I mean, just like armpit hair. Like, what was it like in the last 5 years? What was it Miley Cyrus and who else was rocking the armpit hair? And even before that, what was it? Early 90s Madonna. I mean,
Yeah.
everything goes through these phases, and it's fine. I mean, hair is so incredibly natural, right? We grow it ourselves. It's natural, so it's fine that you have hair. It's just it's personal preference on how long or how crazy you want it to get. But yeah, there are definitely, and I know there are women out there that are like, oh my gosh, if I see a man that is in any way manscaped, it is a huge turnoff. They like that manliness of hair. They find that attractive. And then I've had conversations with men and women that prefer, their male partners to be, absolutely bald. So again, personal preference.
So it's really personal preference. It doesn't. Interesting.
Yeah. Just talk to whoever. I mean, you'll be surprised. You think that, like I would have thought, up and down some of the people that I've talked with, they look completely manicured head to toe. Mm-hmm. And then you get into talking about stuff and they're like, oh my God, if I ever have a partner that has, any kind of baldness, like I will just throw up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's preference.
Now, what's the relation to, odor? Like, some people are very body odor, some don't.
Yeah, so some people, I will say with some people, hair is different. Like, if you notice, if you go look at the hair on your head compared to a pubic hair, there's going to be a slight difference in texture. Normally, pubic hair is a little bit more coarse, but it varies from person to person. So depending on how that person's pubic hair grows, it can be more dense, and that can help trap odors. So if you are, just kind of, maybe not sweaty, but if you just tend to be a little bit more odorous and you have coarser hair, it's going to trap those odors a little bit more. So maybe for you as a personal decision, it might just be more hygienic in your opinion to go a little bit smoother. But yeah, and then and another trend that's happening right now is like your beehole. People are loving to just shave your whole.
Some people got married.
I didn't know, like maybe TMI, but I didn't know. I mean, like if you're already grooming down there, why would you not include your beehole? Like that was always that's a thing to me. But I have discovered amongst my thousands of conversations with people that it is recently discovered for a lot of them. So yeah, men and women. Yes. Yep.
Well, they ask you that when you're getting a Brazilian. They ask you, would you like to have your backside also taken care of?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm already in pain.
You're like,
so in school, they teach us bikini wax, right? So I didn't. They invited me to come. I'm like the one guy out of like 30 girls. Like, look, I'll watch the video, I'll do the legs and everything else. And they had models come in. And what's up? And
hey, yo.
They had a model come in, and so they had a guy come in. They had a guy come in, and they said, "Flo, hell no." So he wanted his asshole to be like, "No, dude, like, I don't know you, bro. Like, girls can do it. I'm here." And so I kind of peeked. So he had his whole thing in front, bikini wax.
Yeah.
He had to bend down with ass up. Yeah. I'm like, I'm done. I'm gonna go to lunch right now. Get some tacos.
I mean, to each their own. It's a personal preference, whatever. And kudos to him for having like the confidence to go in and do that. I mean,
do that, right?
And
I know, especially in the asshole area, you want, like, in my opinion, in the asshole area, you'd want it to be as like have the least amount of hair as possible, right? Just for hygienic reasons. You think? I don't know, but whatever.
He was a hairy guy. He was a hairy guy.
Good for him. for him.
He was a hairy guy, and you know, I didn't ask him all the questions. Go like, look, I just it's for hygienists too because I'm a hairy motherfucker. You know, his body, he was hairy. He was hairy. So down there, he was hairy. So, for example, like you go poop, you can't clean everything, so you gotta make it. You know, the runway gotta be smooth.
Yeah.
You know,
He doesn't want no hang-ups.
the crumbs gotta go out. Not stay in.
But I will
Bro, I got it. I don't need any. Don't explain. I got it. I get it.
I will say, if you guys are thinking about it, or if you've already been doing it, or whatever, but my tidbit of information on that is, if you are shaving that area, use a different razor than what you, especially for women, use a different razor than what you would use like the other areas in your pubic region for obvious reasons, but also don't especially for your anus, do not use a disposable razor. Don't reuse like your regular razor that you'd have in the shower. So just, and people don't think about that. Like when I say it, it's obvious, but people really, they're in the shower, right? They're not thinking about, but just, you know, that's something to.
And women, please inform us if you use our shaver. I look, man, we're shaving like, what the fuck? Hey, look, this is not my hair because I don't use it down there.
But you know what?
Let me know ahead of time. That's all I
believe
I have
that
my own hair.
razors, for some, maybe because they're made for the face, but they are so much better than a lot of women's razors. So I personally buy like nice men's razors just because they work so much better.
Yes.
just don't use mine.
They glide. They glide better. Okay.
Experience.
Where'd Helen go?
I don't know.
Well, I think it was too much for him. What happened?
I know. I was like, of course he would come in. Of course he would come in when we're talking about this.
I think KC won. I don't know. Kansas City won. I'm not sure.
Did
All
the
right.
Chiefs win?
No.
All right, so we got 2 more questions. That was
let's go.
All right, so how do I know if my body is sexually healthy, and where can I go to get sexual health medical exam? Is there a medical exam before you have sex?
Okay, so kind of. So the first sign of knowing if you're healthy is, do you feel healthy? If you're in regards to like the sexual reproductive view of it, like if you are having any kind of issues, like if you're having obviously like a UTI, so burning, itching, discharge, or if you're having like strong smells, if you've recently been exposed to an HIV or STD, or think you may have, then of course the first step to know that you're sexually healthy is to go get a full panel, not just STD testing, but you have to specifically ask from your primary care provider a full panel STD test. Okay, that covers everything. And a lot of people, they just don't have a regular medical provider. That's fine. There are places, there are STD clinics. If you need like a quick link to that, you can go to your local health department. And they will hook you up with not just STD testing, but also if you need any kind of like medical exam or like gynecological exam, if you think you have any kind of lesion, sores, anything like that. So 1, do you feel healthy? Like, 2 is, you know, when I say feel healthy, are you experiencing any weird symptoms, smell, like strong smell, discharge, pain, and not just in the genital area. So if you're having like inflamed lymph nodes, that's a really big indicator that there's an infection going on. So if you look at if you feel your hip bones, and if you go about an inch in, you're going to have lymph nodes right there. So if any of those are inflamed, that's a really big indicator there's some sort of infection going on. So do you feel okay? 2 is ask yourself, do you think you've been exposed to anything? And then, you know, go get STD testing. And then in the places that you would go was primary care, ask for full panel STD testing as well as an exam. If you don't have primary care, go to your local health clinic or Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Do you think that some people, you know, like I'm way beyond that now because I have only one partner, but like for some people who are still dating, like, hey, have you got tested?
Oh, this is great.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Well,
glad you
how
asked
do you spring it? Like, you don't trust me? Who you think I'm a whore? You know,
No, I am so glad you asked this.
oh, what
Because
do you think I am? You know?
we're living in the age of social media. We're living in the age of dating apps and online websites, right? That we go to, Tinder or Bumble or Grinder or what is it? All of those, right? So I have noticed, and I have even heard from before from people that have been doing what I'm doing even longer than me. It used to be weird, right? Like if you're dating someone or if you have a hookup, it used to be weird to even ask someone to wear a condom. Like that used to be weird. It used to be like, oh, I'm going to put him out of the mood, right? Then people started getting really comfortable with that, like just making it not even an ask, making it just automatic, like whip one out. If he doesn't have, never rely on him to have one, always have one for yourself type thing. And then it started being weird to ask someone, have you been tested? When was the last time you were tested? Did you come up positive for anything? And now it's so normal. Like it's so normalized now. And I'm noticing the hesitation in the older generations. When I talk to 15, 16, 17, all the way up to 25-year-olds, it's normal for them to automatically default to a condom and then ask their partners when they've last been tested. Now, if you go 25 and above, I start seeing hesitation. I'm seeing, oh, okay, well, I don't want to ask him because he's really hot. I really like him. I don't want to ruin the mood, things like that. That's where I see the hesitation is the older generations. What I want to see start happening, and I think it is because I'm starting to hear that it is happening a little bit more frequently, is not just asking when the last time they had a STD test done, but asking them to show you the results. Because a lot of times we have our results on our phone nowadays, right? Like you have these health portals with your providers. So I always say, and I recommend is, carry a condom for yourself. Don't ever rely on anyone else having a condom. To get used to asking them, what their STD status is. And 3 is just asking them to show you the results. They can pull up your profile on Facebook in 2 seconds. They can do the same thing with their STD results. Yep. So, I mean, there is a shift. It used to be weird. It used to be awkward. It used to be like, oh, I don't even want to ask that. But you know what? Like, that's so much better than picking up a virus that you have for the rest of your life, like HIV.
Right.
Like I would rather make someone uncomfortable and ensure that I don't get HIV, than try to, save the moment and pick up something that I have to deal with for the rest of my life.
It's like, it's one of those things you don't really think about, but then of course, we're in this age of now hookups and blah, blah, blah. And not getting settled down by a certain age, but does it look unrespectable? Disrespectable? Is it awkward? Like, for example, you go on to Eric. Hey, Eric, what's up, man?
Yeah.
Hey, have you got STD tested? You have to pop up.
I got my results right here. Check it out.
Right here, look at.
I know, but seriously, I mean, like, it seems weird. Like even just that example. I mean, like, it seems weird to maybe us that are a little bit older, but that's not weird to the younger generations anymore. That's like normalized, and I think that's fabulous.
I think that's a great thing.
Because the people that I'm dealing with that actually have HIV and that actually have syphilis, that have gone to neurosyphilis and infected their brains, these are older people. These are people that find those conversations awkward. These aren't the young kids that are be like, yeah, I've swiped right. And in my Tinder response, I said, hey, I'm interested in mixing up. When was your last STD test? Wow. That's becoming normal now. And I think that's great. I mean, I want to see that.
Yeah, there's no longer that taboo, I guess, in the younger generation. Whereas, someone like us when we were dating, damn.
I know, because we were probably coming from an era of like abstinence, right? Mm-hmm. Like abstinence. And so what does abstinence teach us? It teaches us not just to not have sex, but not to talk about it. Mm-hmm. Not to ask the questions, because if you ask the questions, then you are interested in having sex, which went against abstinence, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it created this culture of don't talk about it. Don't ask these questions.
Be ashamed,
there's shame.
Yeah, people with shame, they think, well, if I have something, that means I get around.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, that's why I really, and one thing that I want to get to the point of doing and I'm currently working on doing this in our Abilene community is teaching people. So teaching parents how to have these conversations with their kids, teaching kids how to have these conversations with their friends, because it's going to start with, and I hate to say it, but it's true. It starts with the 10, 11, 12-year-olds. It doesn't start with the 15, 16, 17-year-olds that have already given countless blowjobs and anal sex. I mean, it's starting younger, and that's the demographic that has to be targeted now, not in a fearful or shameful way, but in an educational way.
Yeah. It's
and
kind
it's
of a tether between, exposing the age of sex and then not exposing them enough so they can make the the adult decision to, like, I'm saying, hey, I'd rather that you be safe than or awkward for a few minutes versus have a lifetime of STD or whatever it is,
like changing STD.
Yeah, and a lot of the pushback that I get when it comes to this is parents that are being like, oh, no, my kid's too young for this. My religious background, my kids are going to be, abstinent until they get married. Things like that are perpetuating this I won't say culture, but maybe this culture of I'm just not going to say anything to mom and dad, and I'm going to go, do what I want to do with my friends, and that happens. And so there is an age, especially when I'm hearing parents saying, oh no, my kid's too young for like the HPV vaccine, which is recommended for 9 years and up.
Yeah.
Saying, oh no, my 9-year-old isn't going to have sex. Well, I get that. Your 9-year-old probably isn't going to have sex, but your 14, 15, 16-year-old probably is going to have sex, some form of sex. Right. So it's getting parents comfortable with that conversation. I mean, if you can start having a conversation with these kids about, how their dog just got run over, or how their grandma just died, or how, their auntie just had a baby. I mean, these are facts of life. Like, we have to start normalizing so we can educate them to when they are in a position, they can make smart choices that aren't going to affect them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So that's one thing I want to start doing, not just like in the Abilene community, but I do want to create some sort of outlet to where I can teach people how to have these conversations, because for a lot of, especially people our age and older, it's a hard conversation to have.
Yeah, my mom and dad, no birds and bees, man.
Yeah.
I had the Guam Philippine education. I don't know what my friends or family, shit.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I get it. Like, that was the culture, right? You didn't talk about things like that. It was indecent. It was indecent. But you know what? We're seeing I am seeing the repercussions of that. I am dealing with people's healthcare declining, like the health declining because of these conversations that weren't had. Yeah. So it's just about awareness. I'm not, it's not, it's not saying that it's okay for these young kids to do these sexual acts. It's just informing them for when they probably, right? Probably happen.
So Abby, for example, I mean, not to pry, but you have teenagers now, or 20-year-olds now. So did you talk about the birds and bees, or?
I talked about it with my daughters, especially because I told my daughters, especially, I said, as soon as they turned 18, like, I told them, I said, look, I don't know what you did in your past, but you're 18 years old. I said, you're an adult now, and adult consequences.
Yep.
I think she froze.
She got stuck.
Yeah.
She got stuck.
Hello?
I think she's gone.
Man, it's like, you want that information? What did you say?
No, good.
Type it in. Sorry. Of course, I know.
Eric, do you have kids?
I do. I have a 9-year-old, and now that we've had this conversation, I've dabbled a little bit of conversation with him because we watch movies. He sees people kissing and sleeping together. But
and the first thing I tell parents is it's not something that you have to, like, some cheesy movies, you'll have the parent sit down on the bed with the kid. It doesn't have to be like that. I always say, when the kid starts to ask the questions, answer the questions honestly, and then add a little more, right?
Yeah.
But it's not something to shy away from, because I promise you, I deal with CPS and investigations on kids that are in like middle school or younger that are just playing games, right?
Wow.
And it turns out obviously not to be an abuse case because they're just playing these games at school or at their friend's house or things like that. But I mean, it's happening younger and younger.
Wow.
So that's my yeah.
I believe it because of
I see
YouTube.
kids at school now, and
oh yeah, and we can't filter everything, right? Like we can try to put those parental controls on the TV and on the internet like that. But if you really think about it, who knows if their best friend down the street has those same parental controls,
Right.
Who knows if that best friend's down the street older brother has those parental controls, right? You cannot protect these kids from everything. And as much, trust me, I have a 9-year-old daughter, as much as I want to, I know because I see it every day. It just, it's not there. Education is just the best way to go.
Right.
They're watching it.
I agree.
I'm sure Eric has some stash of Playboys back there. No, joking.
I found a box the other day. It's like, oh crap.
Pornhub is not an educational tool. Oh my God.
9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Yep. That's the time for boys. They're getting curious.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. The curiosity is absolutely normal. It's just letting them know, having the conversation to let them know that what they're feeling is normal and then educate them on top of that. So I would never say what you're feeling is wrong or bad because it's not. It's just elaborate on, okay, this is what you're feeling and that's normal, but this is how we handle those feelings.
I like that.
I think with TikTok too, if you're watching the kids play TikTok, all right, dude, there's a lot of stuff like they're questioning. They probably follow people that they're not should be following. You know what I'm saying? So
all the time, I really consider into an educational segment because of all the crap that's on there.
With TikTok,
yeah, I'm like, just do like a 15-second, hey, fun fact of the day.
All that you gotta double check that.
So far, he's not into TikTok, so.
Oh, good. Well, not what's his name? Kim's son. He's like,
oh, he's all into it. I'm like, oh man.
Your daughter Susanna is she into TikTok?
Superstar.
No, so oh my gosh, get this. So she is not into TikTok, but she likes the dances because her friends are into TikTok.
Yeah.
Like I don't let her have a smartphone. The only phone that she has is actually a flip phone. So she has it for emergencies, but she isn't allowed to have like a I've seen it go bad too much. So she has a flip phone. But her friends, of course, have smartphones, and so they'll teach her like the dances or all that crap and bring it home, and it's cute. It's whatever.
Yeah, they're in the aisle like doing like this. What is something wrong with you? You okay? No.
Oh man.
All right. So last question here. Do you guys get raped?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Men get raped by other men. Men get raped by women. It's not as common, but it does happen. Absolutely, men get raped. I mean, and the really, really sad part about this is men are far less likely to report it. And that's kind of for a couple of reasons. One, if they're thinking, oh, okay, I was, they're usually ashamed, especially if they were raped by another male, there's shame associated, right? Like they don't want to admit that happened to them. They don't want to feel emasculated. They don't want to have to tell someone. It's embarrassing. It's shameful. So it goes unreported. A lot of times, and even this, men will get raped by women. It's not nearly as common, but they can be drugged or they can be, have a couple of females, pin them down and it does happen. And again, it's not going to be reported because in their mind, a lot of times, who's going to believe me that a female raped me? You know what I mean? So it goes unreported. Yes, it happens. And unfortunately, we're still in the stuck part of society where men don't feel as comfortable coming forward with it.
Yeah. What do you call it? We had, I don't know if you remember, we did have an incident back in. Remember that? I don't even remember that. We had someone who was accused of being raped by another guy, and they closed down a club. Remember, were you there?
I don't remember. What year was that?
Ooh, I don't know if that 2009, 8.
Oh, it was probably a little. Yeah, that was probably before me. I think I was there.
But anyways, there was a bar that supposedly someone who worked there had taken this guy home, and then the guy worked at worked on base and military, and he reported that he was raped by another guy.
Yeah.
And they had an investigation, and then there was a curfew, and that's the start. One of the factors of why there was a curfew in Barrow at the time in Japan.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
So that's hard, as a guy, to
Mhm.
be like, man, I think I got raped, or
I mean, and honestly, I mean, if you really speak to some of these women and look at the numbers, most women don't report it. So if most women aren't reporting it, then even less men are reporting
Yes, men. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and it's awful and it sucks. And I really hope that one day we can have a society where, men feel comfortable being able to come forward without feeling ashamed or emasculated or felt like they're not going to be believed.
now, how about
true.
if it's
That's true, because otherwise
how about if
injustice gets,
well,
gets
how about
under.
it's your partner, like it's your
I mean, rape is rape, and that happens. I mean, there are so many relationships that, for example, just a heterosexual relationship where, the wife didn't want to have sex one night, husband, for just an example, came home drunk and forced her. That's still rape. Just because there's a piece of paper saying you're married doesn't mean you didn't force someone into a sexual act. So yeah, that happens too. And that even goes reported even less.
Wow.
Because they're not in these people's minds, they're not going to be believed because it was, their spouse. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, rape is rape. And it wasn't too long ago where marital rape in certain states wasn't even considered rape. So, I mean, it took, I think, within the last maybe 20 years, and I don't know if it was Texas or California, that it was decided that yes, you can still be raped if you're in a a marriage,
a committed relationship. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens more than we want to admit. And of course, the thought of like, I'm going to tell my husband, I'm going to tell my wife, like,
I know, because a lot of times if you just think about the dynamic, maybe you still really love that person and you just chalk off of, oh, he was just drunk that night, right?
Yeah.
But you have a buttload of kids at home, or you really love them. There's other factors that play into it. And, it's not always black and white. It's not always, oh, he committed this crime against me, therefore I will report it. It doesn't happen like that more often than not, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's crazy. I think I don't.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to snitch on your loved one?
I know, because especially if you still love them, especially if you still have, you can just chalk it off. Oh, he was drunk, or oh, he'll never do it again, or oh, he thought I liked that, and we were role playing, is what I hear.
Yeah, didn't say the magic word. Pineapple. Like, marshmallow. What? Oh man, I'm sure it happens a lot of times. I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm curious, Floyd, where did that question come from?
Oh, man. Look, I mean, in my younger years, I've blackened out. I've had, and I'm not sure if I remember or not. But I mean, I remember being drunk with, my partner or my wife, my wife at that time, or my girlfriend. I mean, it could have been a possibility, but maybe culturally, it's that's your boyfriend, that's your girlfriend, that's your husband, that's your wife, that it didn't come up. I'm just saying how often does it happen? I don't know anybody out there listening, but does it happen, and what do you say?
Yeah.
And
that's a good point, is culturally, I mean, like, it's going to vary upon, Hispanic backgrounds, African American backgrounds, Asian backgrounds. I mean, it's just going to vary on what they feel comfortable with coming forward, or how they justify it, or how they view it in general. I mean, culture plays a huge role in how we even analyze these experiences.
Yeah. I think like with ours, it'd be, even if you brought it up, maybe most likely, maybe because they got hurt. Right?
Yeah.
It got hurt, physically, I didn't want to do that. And they did it. That's my husband, that's my wife. And now you're trying to say that to your mom or dad or whatever. And you're like, well, that's your husband. That's your wife.
Yeah.
Well, suck it up. I've never heard anybody like say that's, but I mostly it would happen if they got hurt physically.
Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't want that action to happen, and so like, what the fuck? I just got raped. And, you know, that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories of women that, you know, they didn't want, you know, oral sex wasn't their favorite thing, and their husbands forced them to perform oral sex or anal sex. They didn't like anal sex, or they didn't want anal sex, and they were sodomized. I mean, so yeah, it happens.
But we all got to think now. Now, if you report it, now it changes the whole dynamic. It changes.
Oh yeah.
You know, the reporting, you know, like now you're jeopardizing the what you had, you know, as a committed relationship. I think it's good to talk to each other about it, but to let other people in, I think it's like, now what's your point? Now, what are you trying to do now? You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you can say it. That's your free will.
I think it also goes back to like the dynamic, right? Like, was this like a forceful, violent, oh my gosh, like I upset you because I didn't have dinner ready on time? Or was this you were kind of drunk and I was just laying that, you know, I think it depends on the dynamic and the relationship with that person. But it's very complicated. Like people think a lot of times that rape, it's something that happened to me that I didn't want to happen, so therefore it's rape. It gets very complicated.
Right.
You know, it's not black and white.
Yeah, Abigail, like between married people in our culture believe rape doesn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, gosh,
it's true. Cultures, different cultures
it's
too.
cultural, but just think about it. I mean, gosh. And unfortunately, there's a lot of cultures, not just Filipino, that they just don't talk about it. And I get it. Like I understand it, especially when they're the family unit is so valued, you know?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I think those topics,
how complicated that can, you know, how complicated it all get.
Yeah, it does. Because you know, especially with our culture, it's like respect thing too. Before media, you don't talk about really your relationship openly. You know, what's happening. I don't usually do that. Now, when Facebook happened, then it kind of opened Pandora's box.
Yeah.
It's like true. Everything happens. It's like, hey, you know. So I was caught in the moment, you know, when I'm angry or I was in a fight or whatever. I started posting stuff to get sympathy or likes or whatever it was. Now I'm like, I keep myself private. You know, the only thing I do is positive stuff, but I know that there's a tendency, the past 20 years, that people would put their stuff out there.
Yeah, they air it.
Once you put it out there, you can't take it back. And so if you said your significant other raped you, well, now it goes back to the job, that goes to that goes to your family, and then now I look at Floyd different or Eric different or Susanna.
Yeah. And you never know that it was true, because there's a lot of just vindictive people out there, right? They were upset, broke up or something, and they're just trying to get back at you. And that happens a lot too, men and women, right? They will lie about the worst things, you know, just to get back at these people. And it's terrible, but it happens. And unfortunately, that undermines the situations where it really does happen, right?
Right.
Like you call wolf too many times.
Yeah. So yeah, anyways, I'm just thinking, you know, families and friends of, you know, of course, you know, no one has a perfect relationship, and just thinking about stuff that probably did happen many times over through our families and friends, and they just like, but it's good they don't use Facebook to be like, this fucking bitch, this is what they did, you know, because it does lose a relationship, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
You know, you want to keep that private or go to a professional if you need a step forward.
Yes, there are resources out there. Yes.
A counselor, and say to keep it private.
Yes.
Like you said,
there are women's shelters, there are men's shelters, there are resources out there that you can go to if you need help. And they're very simple to find. Put in your hometown, put in your hometown and put in crisis intervention or domestic violence, and you will immediately populate different resources for your area.
Wow. Or even talk to a professional.
And they can. I mean, if you're having issues, definitely seek out some sort of professional counseling for sure.
Because that's, I mean, that would be, you never know, PTSD too, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
You can be traumatized, and then they harbor all that moment or moments, and then they're already old that time. You know what I'm saying? Every time they get drunk, it just comes out. You're a bitch. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Remember that time, you know. So I'm looking back through all my relationships and friends and family, like, man, what if that stuff did happen more than we think it happened? You know what I'm saying?
Or they
And
know.
and they harbored those feelings way down till the day they pass away. You know, so that's why a lot of Filipinos like to sing a lot. They got songs like Well, thank you very much. Hey, Abby, you back?
Abby is back.
Can we hear you? No.
Hello?
I want to know what you said. That's what I'm saying.
I know. What did you say? Oh, I can't hear.
No,
we can't hear you
yet.
He's working on it.
She's thinking.
Okay. Thank you.
Where'd Kellen go? He was here for like 10 seconds and just left.
So right? He said, I literally jumped in to yell, "Go Chiefs!" And then I was but the conversation was too good at the moment, and I didn't want to take it away from the conversation. Back next week, guys. Bye-bye. I think
you
Abby
missed it, Kellen.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's the husband accidentally turned off the plug. I don't know why I don't know why he did this. I told him don't plug that internet on the plug that you can control with the switch. And I said, because you don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. No, I did talk to my daughters. I did talk to my son. It's a hard conversation, especially for like I grew up with the like what Susanna said, abstinence was what I was taught. And yes, it was a way, but I have to be, yes, I am teaching my kids to be good Christians, good Catholics, but I also have to be a responsible mother. I also have to be very realistic. Like, I would love for them to not be hurt, and I want them to be responsible if they decide to be sexually active, because I have to raise responsible kids, and part of being a responsible kid and raising responsible kids is equipping them with as much information as a parent you can get. And it's uncomfortable and it's embarrassing, and a lot of it, I had to go through a lot of like Catholic guilt. I still because that's what we're taught. We're taught.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're taught that sex is sacred. Sex is between man and wife. And
it still can be, right? Like you can teach them things. It's just you're providing additional information in case they have like a change in heart for a night or something. They're still prepared. And I think that
And the thing is, I have 4 daughters. 4 daughters. So if anything were to happen to them, and it was because I didn't prepare them enough, that would be my responsibility.
And I wish more parents realized that when we aren't the ones being proactive with the conversations, they're going to learn it from information, and they get them from not the best sources. I mean, they could Google it and get crappy information. They can get information from their friends. I mean, they can get information from Pornhub.
Exactly.
I think you have to be proactive, just to try to protect your children as best as you can. Now, whether or not they utilize that information is ultimately going to be up to them, because we can't put a leash on them and tie them to our back porch. But as much
exactly.
As
and I told my kids this. I said, sex is an adult choice. That is an adult choice, because it comes with adult consequences.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna partake in that choice, you got to be responsible, because then you're going to have to make some hard decisions, whether that's, getting tested because your partner was not very careful, and
Mhm.
all of a sudden there's something funky going on down there,
Yeah.
or all of a sudden you find yourself pregnant. What are you going to do with that? Or you put yourself it's just, there's so many situations that our kids faces now that I don't know if we ever faced it growing up, but I just want them to be equipped. And I tell my kids all the time, I know it's going to be awkward and I know it's going to be weird, but come to me. Come to me, and if I don't know it, you and I are going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. And we'll
rather that you come up to me and ask and not ask.
And then to always be aware. I mean, as much as we want them to understand and to understand 100% of the information we're giving them, just be happy if they grasp 60% or if they retain 60%. So you just have to make sure that that's a really good 60%. Don't expect them to understand 100% of what you're trying to give them, but make sure that you give a really good at least 60%.
Exactly. Yes.
But yeah.
Oh well, yeah. That was actually an hour. Holy moly, man!
Yeah.
There's good questions though, man. Because those three questions, people have sent to me, and one of them was mine. But this stuff that I'm sure a lot of people in the back of their minds, that's not a usual question that they want to know. So I wanted to share that since Kellen wasn't with us. But we thank you.
Yeah, and then also if anyone has any topics or questions or things that they just are inquiring about, please my way or your way, Floyd, and then that's something that I can try to go over with in the most educational way possible. If I don't have the information, then I definitely can get it from really good sources to try to best inform those that are asking.
Yeah, which is good because people have been watching after the fact that we're live, and people watching throughout and asking all kinds of questions. So I'm glad that people are watching it afterwards, and so keep sharing because a lot of information that Susanna is sharing. I mean, those that you have to go privately to a professional and who has time for that. And we're fortunate Susanna, who was in her own field and expertise, can share that information. So if there's something, we'll keep it anonymous. We won't say your names. Really have that a question like the three questions we had. Ask us. DM the Facebook or myself if you know me, and then I'll ask those questions. That. So, but we had a lot, but that's the only thing we had. I thought that was going to fill out the whole time, but the conversation got really, really good. And I'm sure people. And the last couple weeks we've had really good conversations about Susanna's topics. So I'm glad that this segment is really growing, and so thank you very much.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so we pretty much ran out of time. That was our last segment, but I do want to share something really, personal to me. I'm wearing a shirt called "Stay." It's a "Stay Positive Athlete." So my friend, he is from Guam, and I'll be doing an interview with him. So, and I think I want to share this because it's very, he's a really close friend of mine. So he just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and so he has a company that I bought the shirt from to support him because he needs assistance, and anything can help in any time. I'm not trying to. I don't get anything from it. I just want to help him in the few the limited time that he does have with us. So it's called Be Athlete. I'll show you the stream here. Go to here. It's the where is it? The website, Facebook is called Athlete Gear or beathlete.com. Anything you can help with, please. A shirt, a T-shirt, whatever that helps with his medical needs, and that will support him. Again, he's a very close friend of ours from Guam. Him in Japan also. Can visit, please, right there on the site, Athlete Gear, and beathathlete.com. I will add the link onto this stream. That way, he has a couple shirts here, explicit. But there's other stuff there that you can check out. He does have on Facebook, and positive vibes, be athletes, and so he has friends and family that are helping him out. But I just got this shirt yesterday, so you can check it out, please. That would be so helpful. Anything will help out. If you want to donate, also, I'm pretty sure you can do that with the webpage. So that is Jason Mandiola out of Guam. I believe he's in Washington. So if you can visit, anything can help. A T-shirt, a hat, whatever that you can buy, that will be much appreciated.
Cool, man.
Thank you very much. Also, I want to just take maybe 30 seconds to a moment of silence for, we have over 400,000 people who have passed away. We've had some family and friends who have COVID, and you don't know the after effects of that. And then so right now we still have people in the beds and battling, and we have our frontliners and our friends and family. So I just want to take about 30 seconds, a moment of silence for them. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Highway 54, live stream Sunday with Susanna, DJ Mr. A, Abby, and Etika, and of course myself, DJ Kirango. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thanks for all the comments. Please share and like. We do have a YouTube. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel. I will put the link down below. We need about 100 so we can customize the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Right now, promote that, share, and
hit that like button.
Hit the like button. Thank you very so much. Who do we sponsor? All right, guys. Alexis, thank you so much for tuning in. Kelly, and we'll see you next week. Peter, Mark, thank you so much. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you guys.